Hi, Namaskar, welcome to Musiana. I hope you would follow the first episode, the first video, what we have gone through. We talked about the source of the instrument, the versatility of the instrument, the sitting posture, and the positioning of the right hand, the hand's posture, the look, the expression, and so many things in the first episode. We talked at the last about the positioning of the fingers on the right hand drum. Today we will talk about the left hand drum and so many other things. As we all know, we call it tabla. Essentially, the right hand drum, if we are right handed, then the right hand drum would be calling is tabla, and the left hand we would be calling the baya, or if we go in Hindi, then dagga. So tabla and baya, that is what we will call once we go through and talk about different subjects. Now for the posture in baya, it is the same again. If you have gone through the things in the first episode, the positioning of the hand, starting from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist. So again, it would not be like this straight, but bended from the elbow and firmly but loosely placed on the baya. And from the baya, there are two different parts of the hand which are used. One is controlling the sound with this part of the hand. This is placed here, right under the black part. Controlling meaning stroking open, having an open stroke or closed stroke. We can press from here as and when it is needed, and not do that if we need to have an open sound. And then the stroke finger. Essentially, again, the fingers should be together, but the stroke fingers are basically two, the index one separately and the middle one, or three at times with the middle and the ring finger together. So two strokes for the two fingers are like this, or placing the hand flat on the baya. We would talk about the names of the strokes and so many other things as we go ahead. This is just how this is used. So the postures for the fingers would be this. The hand will be rested here as it is, and the posture will be like this or this. At times, if it is needed, the hand would go a little up and stroke here like that. Otherwise, mostly it will be just like having a conversation with someone and very relaxed. playing the compositions and all that, practicing would be difficult. Once we start to know, once we start to learn and do practice, get the things in the hand, in the fingers, are essentially right in the beginning, those things are hard. But as you go through, as you make those things easy, and then once you start playing, it should be absolutely normal, as if there's completely no effort from your part. Now the next important thing, what we would know again about the instrument is, we have known the names separately, just a little bit about the make, how it is made. The tabla, as you can see, is made of wood and the skin on top, and the baya is made of copper and nickel. There's a chromium nickel on the copper. The top is made of goat skin most of the time in both the drums. The black part here, what gives the resonating tone for the treble drum, tabla, is made of the boiled rice and dust iron, both mixed and glued together. And then very slowly the tabla makers go on making it round, making rounds and rounds and rounds, and putting it again, then rub it off, and that's how they do it. And until and unless they get a fine sound which is matching with the pitch we need to play. The black part of the baya is made the same way. Now a little bit about the parts of the tabla, how they are called, the names of the parts. The part towards the edge part is called kinar. The part after that is called sur. The black part is called siyahi or gab. We have different kind of strokes which are also named differently. We will come to those very soon. But these are the parts where the fingers keep stroking and having different strokes, different sounds. Now, what do we play and on what we play? Tabla, as we know, is a ta, ba and la, T, B and L. We have 3 alphabets. So for ta we have tal. Tal is a rhythmic cycle. On a rhythmic cycle, there are syllables. So now ta as tal, ba is bol. Bol is syllables and compositions eventually. And la is laya. Laya is essentially tempo. So tal, bol and laya, these 3 things are integrated, and 3 different things, but 3 different subjects which are interlinked to each other. And the bols which are played on the tal on a particular lay, on a tempo. Unless that happens and until that happens, it is not going to happen correctly. So now first let's talk about tal. Practically, how many tals in the North Indian classical music or in the North Indian music or largely in Indian music, how many tals or how many rhythmic cycles are played? Starting from 6 beats till about 16 beats are usually played. If we start talking about the 6-bit rhythmic cycle, it is called dadra. All the rhythmic cycles have different divisions, how you would give the beat and the names of the beats. We will talk about that too. So the first on the 6th beat, if we call, it's called dadra. The second beat, second one is the 7-beat rhythmic cycle. It's called rupak. 8-beat rhythmic cycle is called kaharwa. The 9 is mattatal. 10 is jhaptal. 11 is chartal ki savari. 12 is ektal. 13 is jaytal. 14 is ada chautal. 15 is pancham ki savari. 16 is teen tal. Now, again, the one more important thing that I wanted to tell you, that on this 14-beat, 16-beat, 10-beat, 12-beat rhythmic cycles and a couple of others, we have different names, tals, different divisions of those tals also. Like in the 16-beat, we also have, we call it sitar khani. Movement of that is different, not as teen tal. Then there's one more for 16, which is called tilavara, that is essentially used for accompaniment with vocal style. Then there's one more which is used for semi-classical music with thumri and all. That's called jat. Now on the 14, there are a few. Other than Ada Chautal, there is Jhumra. Again, it is used for the vocal style accompaniment. There is Dhamar, what we spoke essentially in the first episode. For Dhamar kind of singing, it is accompanied, that tal. And then there is Dipchandi. These are all on 14. Then there is one more tal on the 12-bit rhythmic cycle other than ek tal, which is called chautal. On the 10-bit rhythmic cycle, there is one more other than jhaptal, which is called surfaktal or sultal. So these are a few rhythmic cycles which are often heard for accompaniment and also for solo and for accompanying different kind of music as well. Maybe the shape of it is different, but these are the tals more or less used. According to the music, the feel of it, the sections and the divisions of it are made differently, perhaps when it comes to playing with a modern song or jazz or with the music which that comes to the tabla player and he feels it that way, how he would go with that music. So these are basically the tals. Other than this, there are a few tals where the rhythmic cycle becomes half, like 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.25, and 13.5, 12.5, and so on. These are also played. Some of those have names, like 8.5 is called Upatal, 6.5 is called Adha Jaital, 11.25 is called Gyarvi Siva, and so on and so forth. So these are the tals which are very seldomly played, but these are used at times for accompaniment and at times for solo as well. So these are sort of the rhythmic cycles. The one most important thing for the rhythmic cycle is the tali. Tal, when it comes, tal basically means beat. So how we clap, and we are going to come to that in our next episodes, and we would talk about so many other things, and I hope you all like it. And please don't forget to follow the previous episodes, otherwise you would go out of the place and you would fail to follow the link. Thank you very much. See you soon again.